Behind me, you can see we are at the Centre for Life here in not so sunny Newcastle today. It was a much nicer day yesterday, and if it looks like I'm wearing sunglasses, it's because everyone had a big party last night because it was such a great day. So here we are, Centre for Life. The Maker Faire UK is in town, and it is a remarkable thing. So we're going to go and have a look. As you would expect, this is no ordinary fair. There's a lot of wacky stuff here too. Check this out. Who wouldn't want a flame-breathing scrap dragon? But I don't think many people are going to be making that. What we're actually here to do is to go upstairs and see the 3D printing room and talk to people about what is really happening here, getting made in the future. Okay, for the American people watching this out there, obviously you can't go anywhere at a large event in the UK without meeting a Dalek. Listen to this, look.
Hello, you are an enemy of the Daleks. Exterminate! And if you do...
Wow, fantastic.
This is not war, this is pest control.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. That's fantastic. Can I try and say hello into one of those? Would that be okay?
Do you want a Dalek or Cyberman?
Oh, Dalek, please. Hello, Matthew. It's time to go to bed. And Adam, I hope you're being a good boy for Mummy. Hello, Lulu. I love you. Thank you.
You would make a good Dalek.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That is amazing. That is amazing. Sorry about that. It's just just saying goodnight to the wife and kids. That's how we do it in the UK. So okay, let's go up and look at some 3D printing. So, as you can see, there is a mob of people around the Shapeways table wanting to check out the stuff that's there. I'm actually trying to get to the front so I can show you some of the really cool stuff that's on here. Definitely there are a few modelling companies that do that sort of on-demand printing that are here, but in terms of the sheer variety of design and materials and pieces, this is quite amazing. It's so much, I can't actually get to the table to show you the stuff, and I really want to because it's quite inspiring. So if I can just sneak in round here and get a look. There we go. So you suddenly see the sheer variety from over here. This is a ceramic print, so this is laser sintered ceramic. Espresso cup, very nice. Moving over, but it's the things that really are amazing, and you see them online, you see them in the flesh. Look at this, 3D printed chainmail. Right, and I wouldn't stop an awful lot of arrows, to be brutally frank. But seeing as we're not really invading stuff in the 10th century, that doesn't really matter. But look at this, just look, can you get a close-up on there? Look. 3D printed in nylon plastic, and it feels really good, it's flexible. And of course, some of the machinery in here is quite amazing. If we look down, look at this guy. Okay, so this is the machine. You might have seen giant ones of these at the Burning Man Festival in videos on YouTube. But if I show you, yeah. Okay, now all of these components you see, this whole mechanism is produced in one piece from a 3D printer. The gaps are filled with filler, and the filler is soluble. So this comes out like a solid block, pardon me, and then that gets dipped into a bath of water, the filler goes away, and you're left with an articulated piece. And look. That is amazing, you know. And of course, you probably recognise this piece here, the back. This skull was actually crowdfunded on Kickstarter by the artist. And if I can just pick that up to show you, look at the beautiful work on that. That's quite amazing. And these are, you know, this is a fine piece of art. Now, the guys here at Shapeways told me that this takes as long to cool down as it does to print out. So that's a real investment of time that goes into that. And of course, the thicker parts cool down slower than the thin parts. So there's an awful lot of work that goes into making sure it cools evenly and doesn't distort. Because with fine work like this, you've got to get a really good result.
The cool thing about this model is that
you probably recognise these two. This is based on the human nervous system. It's a bangle, and this is in a really finely polished silver. Okay, so this is an expensive item. I think these are about 600 euros. But look at that. Something that would be almost impossible to make by hand at that price point. So although that seems like an expensive luxury item, it's actually something which is, very cost effective to produce in the 3D printing process. How do they work with silver, incidentally? They actually 3D print a wax mould, which then gets dipped into gypsum and baked to form a mould that they can then pour liquid silver into and set like this. So it's a traditional, what they call a lost wax process. What's really interesting, though, is to get this kind of accuracy, it's very hard to make a wax mould to produce that unless you 3D print it. Again, another thing, you can only really make this that way. And as we go across, there we go. Doing that in ceramic would be quite a hard job to get the faces and the geometry right, and yet 3D printing you can do it. And that is ceramic. It's quite hard, a whole different set of tolerances, remember, for each material. So you're in a situation where you need to learn your stuff. But I mean, I've done it. It's different working in silver than stainless steel. It's different working in plastic to ceramics. And I'll be totally honest with you now, I haven't got the hang of ceramics yet, because you've got to get a whole sort of relationship between the density of the material to its size to actually get a successful ceramic print, something that's self-supporting in the way they sinter ceramics. So there is a lot of crafting to do, and we all have a long way to go getting down that road. But for me, I could never get a welding torch out and make something like that. I can't use a potter's wheel. I can barely put up a set of shelves, to be brutally frank with you. So the fact that I get access to tools through software to do this is a really low barrier to entry for someone like me. I mean, if we come round and have a look, it's a great articulated model here, which is hugely popular. Check that out. So as you can see, in here, we've got a set of interlocking cubes, and they are on, I'm trying to find the hinge points in there. Yeah, just there, you see? Just in there. You can just about see how that connects together, and it creates this lovely floating model. And more cool stuff here. The bots are very cool. Now, obviously, here's the designer of the egg bot. Hi, Richard. No, Stephen. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. I've only just got here. Stephen, why don't you tell us about, what was of all these pieces, what was the hardest one to get right? Because you are working in ceramics, so I've never quite got that right yet.
Well, ceramics is interesting because you have to be conscious of the fact that you cannot put any detail in your model. You have to keep it as general as possible. So for the likes of this, done in Blender, probably the hardest part for me was the fingers. Just to get dimensions so that they come out of the printer correctly and not too small, because I have very wide tolerances on the ceramics. But the model came out really well. It's had very little work done to it. Post-production, just basically as is out the printer.
And is that the glaze that comes back to you? So when the package comes back on demand, that's
what you get, yeah.
Wow. And this is the black one.
The black one, this is a ceramic matte. It's probably closer to the look that you want in this particular model, yeah. But to be honest, it's probably one of the easier ones to make. The hardest model, I think, was one of my early ones, which is the box, because that was on a SketchUp. And just to cut out all the hexagons, get all the filleting done, quite tricky. But what I liked was the fact that getting the dimensions right in the software come out exactly right from the printer.
Yeah.
So the tolerance is really, really good.
And you've done some post-production work on that yourself, right? Because you've got these magnet catches.
Put the magnet catches in just because my skills don't work up to hinges and catches.
Yeah.
And catches can wear out, which magnets won't.
Wow. That's amazing. But of course, the housings for the magnet catches are printed into it.
Yes.
Right. So
all you have to do is purchase the magnets and a spot of super glue and Bob's your uncle.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. So that's one of the things is that you shouldn't really think about 3D printing as the whole process.
Not the whole process. Often it's part of the process. A lot of the makers on the Shapeways website will state that further post-production is required.
Yeah.
And if there's often a maker will say contact you directly and make the thing for you because it's a bit complicated.
Yeah.
It's not the whole process, but certainly a lot of pretty much all the items on the table that Shapeways have brought along are straight out of the machine, very little post-processing.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah, that is. So what's next for you? What is your next big thing that's coming along?
A really good product. I can't tell you what it is. There aren't very of them around. It may well be popular. Watch this space.
Okay, I've got to ask this. Does it have a code name?
Designers' website where they give away their designs.
It's no. Yes, code names would give too much away.
Okay, so we're going to call it Project X.
Let's say it's for a certain popular large tablet.
Okay, we're going to leave it there because I don't want to give it away, but you've got to check this space back. Now, what's your Shapeways shop called?
My Gadget Life.
My Gadget Life. You've got to come, see My Gadget Life, check this stuff out. Frankly, I got to get me an egg bot because what's nice about it is that the shape of an egg is almost exactly the same as Robbie the robot from Forbidden Planet. So it's quite amazing. There we are, going back to one of the great movies of science fiction with Leslie Nielsen starring, believe it or not, from The Naked Gun. He's awesome as the captain of Forbidden Planet. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a very good chance you're Ute, so you haven't. You've got to check it out. Thank you. Awesome.